Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Kyle Keel with KWQC TV6. Thank you so much for joining us for this live stream. We are about to get into the total solar eclipse. It's just 5 days away on April 8th. We've been talking about it for really the last several months. A lot of people in the path of totality have been preparing for this. Many of you here at home might have plans to go down to Missouri, Southern Illinois, into Indiana to maybe catch a glimpse of totality. So lots to talk about here over the next several minutes. And we have a very special guest with us right now, Heather Futrell. She is with NASA. She is actually a heliophysics program executive at NASA, and she joins us now live from the Goddard Space Flight Center in Maryland. Heather, we appreciate you joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. A very exciting time for you all at NASA because I know that, a lot of studies go on when these eclipses happen. So, here in the Quad Cities, we're not necessarily in the path of totality. We're about 80 to 90% of the sun being eclipsed by the moon. So what can people expect here on April 8th, weather permitting?
Yeah, so you guys will still be able to see that partial eclipse. So you'll still be able to see where the moon kind of takes a bite out of the sun as
Yeah.
it goes through its transition. So you still will get to witness it. And also, depending upon, because with your coverage being about 80 to 90%, I still would expect, even if there's cloud coverage, you still may see a dimness that
Sure.
occurs during that time period. And you also may still see a little bit of a temperature change too.
It's funny that you bring that up because I was just about to say I was in Dubuque, Iowa for the solar eclipse, the total solar eclipse that happened back in 2017. So if people remember that, that's exactly what we kind of experienced. It was kind of a cloudy day, but once that eclipse was happening, the partial eclipse, you could literally feel the temperature drop within minutes. It was such an incredible experience to be a part of. And of course, we want to do it safely. So kind of talk about those safety glasses, or glasses rather. If the people have them from 2017 kind of tucked away, are they still safe to use?
Yeah, so I would say to take your glasses out and look at the lenses and make sure
Mhm.
there aren't any punctures or any folds or anything like that that cause damage to the lenses. And if the lenses still look good, then you should be able to use them safely. But you can also do indirect methods of viewing too in order to make sure you're completely safe, where you do that by like pinhole projectors. So one
Sure.
way to do that is like interlacing your fingers, holding them out to the side, and then the sun behind you, the light shines through and will project images of the sun's crescent on the ground in front of you.
Perfect. Yeah, good advice there. So, talk about how this total solar eclipse is going to be a little different from the one that we experienced in 2017.
Yeah, so there are a few. So the first one being that the path coming in from Texas and then exiting through Maine, there's about additional 10 million people that will be able to
Oh, wow.
experience totality. And then the second part is that the part, if you are in totality, totality lasts about twice as long as it did before.
Okay, so, this is a big deal for NASA, obviously. So, what is NASA most excited about? What will they be looking at during this eclipse? What will they be studying?
Right. So during a total solar eclipse, if you're in that period of totality, you can actually view the sun's outer atmosphere known as the
Wow.
corona. And because we're in a period of extra solar activity, because we're at the solar max, there should be more kind of wispy structures that are going to be popping out from behind the moon that we're really excited to see with the naked eye.
And obviously, you have all of the technology there at NASA to look at this through telescopes and everything else. So, what are you most excited about here come Monday?
So for me, I'm going to be traveling to Indianapolis to see totality myself. And so there's going to be
Oh,
a
that's
big group
exciting.
of people that's going to be there. And so I am really excited to just be around all of this heightened energy and this eclipse
Yeah.
fun and just everybody talking about it. I'm really excited for that part.
It's so funny to see clips from 2017 from news reporters who were in the path of it, and they were just overcome with emotion when totality happened. I mean, even myself, it was just so exciting to be a part of that. I wasn't sure what to expect, and it was just a very interesting experience. So, if our viewers aren't thinking of venturing outside, how else can they get involved? How else can they view the total solar eclipse?
Yeah, so during the day on April 8th, NASA will be having a live broadcast the whole day. So you can find that at go.nasa.gov/eclipse 2024 to find out other things about the eclipse, sunspots, and the live broadcast.
All right, Heather, I've enjoyed our conversation here over the last few minutes. Heather Futrell, she is from NASA and heliophysics program executive there. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thanks, Kyle. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too, and have fun in Indianapolis. That should be quite the experience for you.
Thank you so much. Happy eclipse viewing.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, we're 5 days out, so we're obviously taking a really close look at the weather here locally as we are hoping to maybe have some clearing so you can safely view that eclipse with your solar eclipse glasses. So one thing we're obviously looking at is that potential for cloud cover. Generally in April, April showers bring May flowers. So generally we do see a little more in the way of cloud cover here, climatologically speaking. So let's kind of dive into a couple of our global models that we see. So we'll pull up the graphics for you right now. This is just a couple of the models that are depicting cloud cover and potential precipitation on Monday. And if you watched Kevin this morning, he was talking about that Model 1 showing a little more cloud cover. Well, now it's wanting to bring in maybe a little more rain here to our northern hometown. So model number 1 is certainly a solution that is indicating more cloud cover than sunshine. But notice model number 2, some scattered clouds across the TV6 viewing area. So that being said, there's no guarantee we'll see clouds. There's no guarantee we'll see full sunshine. You just need to keep updated with the latest forecast. I wish it was a kind of a better, a clearer picture on whether or not we're going to see the sunshine here as we head into the day on your Monday. But as we go ahead and move forward here, as we head into the time frame of when we can expect this solar eclipse. So the partial eclipse here locally, this is for the Quad Cities Metro, that's going to begin around 12:47. So that's when we're going to start to see that moon kind of eclipse the sun. Now, maximum eclipse is not going to happen until about 2:03. So we have about an hour or two window where you need to have those solar eclipse glasses on when you look up at the sun. Obviously, as Heather was mentioning, you don't want to look directly into the sun with the naked eye, but we should have about 90% totality here in eastern Iowa and western Illinois. So that's about what the sun is going to look like as you look up with those solar eclipse glasses here on Monday. You can see just a sliver of that sun is going to show. So as Heather mentioned, we should notice that temperature drop within that half hour, 45-minute time frame of where we're getting that maximum eclipse. The actual maximum eclipse, where we are 91% covered, that's only going to last a few minutes, but the overall trend is going to last a couple of hours as the partial eclipse does come to an end at about 3:18. So obviously, all eyes are on the weather here on Monday. Here at TV6, we are planning on going to a couple of the solar eclipse viewing events, and then starting at 12:30 on Monday, our parent company, Gray Television, is going to have a special that's going to be airing from 12:30 to 2 o'clock, covering the Great American Total Solar Eclipse. So we should be able to get some views of where we have totality happening in in southern Illinois, Indiana, Missouri. Those are just the closest spots, but they're going to have coverage from Gray stations all across the country. So you can catch that not only on our live stream here on kwqc.com, but on TV6 as well from 12:30 to 2 p.m. And of course, NBC News is going to have coverage that day as well. So yeah, all eyes on Monday, April 8th for the total solar eclipse. Thanks so much for joining us here on the TV6 Digital Desk. We'll get you back to great programming.